Hi friends, it's Tara here from Autism Little Learners. I am a speech language pathologist. If you are new to this Facebook Live mini training, I live in Wisconsin, but I live on the border, so I teach in Minnesota. And I am the face behind Autism Little Learners. Let me know in the comments who you are and where you're watching from. Are you a teacher, special ed teacher, child care provider, parent, grandparent, family member? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you guys. And through Autism Little Learners, I create resources and provide trainings to help busy and overwhelmed parents and educators of young autistic children. Hi, Kristen, mom from Minnesota. All right, nice and close. Madison from Michigan. Amanda from Las Vegas, and Christine from Tennessee. You guys, we're representing all over the U.S. This is awesome. I love it. Well, thanks again for being here. And let me know also, are you on summer vacation yet? Are you getting through those last few days? I'm on vacation now, and I'll tell you, I had a really nice day. I got to read. I took a little nap outside in my new gazebo and got a massage. So it was a good day. Hi, Madison from Seattle. Madison, my daughter, lived and graduated from college in Olympia, Washington, so not too far. Hi, Jen from Washington. How are you? And, Jen has till the 15th still. It feels like a long time. Pam is a retired teacher and a mother, and Amanda's school year is officially over, and I'm glad you're on vacation too. All right, well, let's get started because I know time is precious and we all have hopefully some nice summer weather to enjoy. I'm going to talk tonight about using a calming kit. And I'll give you a little background first, and then I'll go into a new kit that I developed for my little 3-year-olds who are autistic, kids that maybe aren't imitating yet, aren't speaking verbally yet. So we'll get to that, but I'm going to give you just a little bit of background first. Hi, Steph from Iowa. Okay, here we go. You may have heard me, and if you didn't, go back in the replays, or you could go to my YouTube channel and watch the Facebook Live mini training on co-regulation. And so co-regulation is basically summed up using your presence and energy, supporting another person and regulating their emotions. And I think we always hear self-regulation, and oftentimes co-regulation is overlooked. A lot of times we're doing co-regulation techniques, but we're not calling it that. We don't, it's just not talked about as much. So I've been hearing more and more about it over the last couple of years, and that's why I did the Facebook Live about it a couple weeks ago. Let me know in the comments, did you guys watch that one yet about the co-regulation? Super interesting because it really hits home with working with 3 and 4-year-olds. Just my whole caseload, 3 and 4-year-olds, a lot of them still need co-regulation. They need you to support, soothe, guide, coach them. Oh, right, awesome. Madison was there, and Marcy. Yay! Okay, so you can go back to that if you want to watch a little more in-depth about co-regulation. But basically, think like a baby or a toddler. When you're, as a parent or a caregiver, really need to soothe them and kind of coach them through calming down. So a lot of our kids are at this co-regulation step, and it's fine. It's a developmental stage, but we need to meet them where they're at. And also in that Facebook Live, I talked about the the concept of interoception. And not too long ago, that was kind of a new term for me, and they're kind of considering it like the 8th sense. And so interoception is that internal feeling that lets kids know, or people know, do I need to go to the bathroom? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Am I full? Am I not feeling very good? So a lot of, there's some research showing that a lot of autistic kids struggle with this sense of interoception, and they struggle with knowing, I have so many people that say, my child, when I put them on the toilet, they can pee, but they don't let me know that they have to go. And sometimes that's a communication thing, and sometimes it's this interoception. Like, I don't know that I have to go, but I'll go when you put me on the toilet. So interoception also plays a part in self-regulation. So if you can't feel kind of internally what's going on, it can really affect your ability to self-regulate. So kind of putting that into one sentence, a delay in interoception can affect self-regulation, managing emotions. Oh my gosh, that's my classroom every single day. Multiple students, right? Part of that is just young kids, and then the other part is a delay in that interoception. Sleeping, toileting, experiencing pain. We've all had students or kids who have that high pain tolerance. You're like, they should be crying right now. They fell, and they just don't register it the same. So maybe don't realize that maybe they're hurt. And identifying symptoms when they're sick. So today we're going to talk about this self-regulation piece, going from co-regulation to self-regulation, and some visual supports that can help, namely a calming kit. So with young autistic children, the best way to kind of promote this self-regulation is to develop predictable routines. And so using visual supports can help with these predictable routines. And I'll kind of talk you through it with examples because that's a little bit easier to talk about. But with any of the visual supports that I use and love, it's consistently using them, over practicing them to the point where it's like muscle memory. It is a predictable routine that will make sense when you come back to it after you've implemented it consistently. So building in little routines like this can help you make that shift, or help them make that shift eventually to self-regulation, because eventually you can maybe show the visual support and they will know what to do. And so then they can start to self-regulate with this visual support. And Jen said, yeah, until it becomes rote. Yeah. So we're going to support them through co-regulation and these visuals until it becomes routine and becomes rote for them, and they don't have to think about it as much. So we start with doing all of these activities when kids are calm and regulated, right? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. What's going to happen if we introduce something like this when a child is dysregulated? I know what's going to happen. It's part of why everything's laminated too, but they are going to get crumpled up, thrown, torn, refused. Because they're like, hey, I'm dysregulated. Yeah, Jen said they'll throw it. Yes. Because they're like, why are you coming at me? I am so dysregulated right now. Yeah. Yep, Madison said she'll rip and thrown, meltdown. Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know if most of us are women on this, what I can tell with names. Most of us are women. It's like if your husband tells you to calm down. It's not going to go over very well. So showing something like this is just going to add to the dysregulation. They either don't understand it, so they're like, what are you doing? Or you're kind of telling them, calm down. So let's start introducing these during calm, fun, happy states. Okay, so why I made this calming kit in particular. You guys can go on Teachers Pay Teachers, and there are tons of awesome calming kits. I've used one by Pocket of Preschool, and that one's awesome. But I found that, especially this school year, I don't know, you guys tell me, have your students come in more dysregulated this past school year after all the inconsistencies and stuff that has happened with the pandemic? I've had a lot more students that are dysregulated and a lot more students with more language needs, more nonverbal, or I should say non-speaking pre-verbal students. And so I've kind of, oh good, yeah, Steph and Jen, yep, Lindsay, Sue, yes. So from the people I've talked to through my business, so I'm still in the classroom full time. So I have this nice ability to experience it every day, but then touch base with people from around the nation and say, feeling like, okay, I'm not alone. We are all experiencing the same thing, and it has to be somewhat pandemic related. Jen said, yeah, even typically developing kids are struggling a lot. Yes. Kids that maybe you even end up assessing and they don't quite qualify for anything, but there's stuff going on. More special ed kids than ever before. Yes. Yeah. So we're just in this time, and I think we're all maybe by the end of the year accepted, like, okay, this is where things are at, and it's okay. We are going to love on them more, and we're going to build relationships and work on the self-regulation or co-regulation. Because you guys, if we don't have a regulated state, it doesn't matter what you're trying to teach. It doesn't matter what IEP goal you're working on, what materials you use. If we're not regulated, not a whole lot of learning is going to happen. And I could say the same about building a positive relationship. If you forge and you take that time, even with kids that are a little more prickly, where they maybe don't want these overtures as much, or they don't seem like it, we need to find what they love and forge a relationship through the things they love. Not just because, like, I'm the teacher, you're going to love me. No, we need to go into their world. And if they're lining things up, let's watch them. Let's be next to them. So I'm kind of going off on a different tangent, but you get the idea. Right now, more than ever, regulation techniques and relationship are the things that matter more than anything else. So the reason I came up with this calming kit was based on that experience over the last year of getting these 3-year-old autistic children that needed more support with regulation than anything else. And so I had to bring it down to a level. Let me know if you guys have kids like this too. They're at a beginning level. They're not imitating yet. And they're non-speaking. And they're not processing language, which happens with a lot of our students. So if I just say deep breath and I model it, they probably don't have the joint attention at this point to look at me, to see what I'm modeling. It's definitely not motivating to just imitate someone breathing. Lindsay said, will it work with children with ADHD? I think visuals work with any kid. Anytime we pull out visuals in the integrated classroom, like typical kids are over looking at it, they want to see. I think visuals and predictability, consistency work with any kids. And I would think with kids with ADHD, consistency would be really good too. But it's all that, like, introducing it in a fun way beforehand, right? So I'm going to show you a couple ideas, and I'll have more close-up pictures of this. Well, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. All right, so this is the calming kit. One of the things I'm going to talk to you about are the blowing activities. So if you have kids that aren't able to just, if you say, take a deep breath, or you model it and they're not, they're over here or they're looking at their toy, they're not going to imitate you yet. Start with blowing activities, because blowing usually can get anyone to take deep breaths. Think of how you feel when you're blowing up a balloon and you feel kind of lightheaded. Like, it's because you took way too many deep breaths. So start with tangible objects like a pinwheel. And so we can get kids used to the visuals and you could get a little tiny pinwheel and put it right inside the calming kit. So once you figure out what works with certain students, you can have those things right in the calming kit. So I'm going to put this up here. You can see it up on the screen too, but put these on rings. And like I said, these are brand new. I cannot wait. Well, I mean, I can wait because I want to enjoy my June on summer vacation, but I can't wait to try them out during the summer session in July, and I'll let you know how it goes. But anyway, we can show this and give the pinwheel and just have fun blowing the pinwheel. And so kind of modeling that with an actual object is going to be more motivational and more fun and more concrete than just trying to imitate blowing or taking a deep breath. So one of them is the pinwheel. The other one is bubbles. I mean, you guys, bubbles are magical at early childhood. A lot of times we have them with us on the playground, and if we have a transition that's kind of rocky and a child's laying on the ground, many times, not every time, but many times you just blow some bubbles and they're standing up trying to pop them and they'll follow you. So same thing, a lot of my students, they try to blow bubbles, but they do the and then no bubbles come out, but they try. So we're getting them blowing, which is kind of like deep breaths. It's on the way to deep breaths. They might not be super deep at first, but you get the idea. And then there's a visual for we can pretend, okay, we're going to blow the dandelion. And I found this little guy that I'm going to try because it kind of looks like a dandelion. So I'm going to bring little props. Like my 3 and 4-year-old students love to have stuff to hold on to. So I'll let you know how that goes this summer. And then sometimes I'll do smell the flower, blow out the candle. And so here's just a visual of a child blowing out candles. And there's another one for dragon breathing. So this one, you don't even need any sounds. You can just be like, we're going to be a dragon. Blow fire at each other. Jen said, where'd you find the fake dandelion? I wish I could have found it cheaper. I found it on Amazon and there was a whole big pack. But I'll put a link in the comments when I'm done here. For those of you that have seen my other self-regulation resource, which is tons more visuals. So it's kind of, I look at this as this one is the step 1 and that one is the step 2 with more stuff for when kids can imitate and follow some directions and stuff. But this one I have in both. And so this is just, you can teach kids to put their finger here and we smell the flower and blow out the candle. Smell the flower, blow out the candle. So that one, and you can also do it, there's a circle. Sometimes it's nice to give choices too, with all of these. Okay, which one should we do? Should we do the circle with the flower or should we do the dragon breathing? There's also a snake breathing and then a buzzy bee breathing. And this one I like because I always play this little game. You guys will have to let me know if your parents played this little game with you or if it was just my dad. But he would do this game and he'd go, the buzzy bee comes out of the barn. He's got his stinger under your arm and he's going to get you. And so then he'd tickle us. And I do this with my students for relationship building and for some joint attention because, after you've done it a few times, if they like tickling, you go like this. And a lot of times you'll get them to shift their gaze towards you. Okay, come on, what are you going to do? And we go bzzz, and we do the bee sound. So anyway, I was doing that game with one of my students last month, and she's non-speaking, and I would get up here and I'd wait, as a speech-language pathologist, that's what we do. So I did it several times, we had fun and laughed, and then I just had a little pause, and she goes, zzz, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, and then got her. So this is another way you can play that game and kind of get the bee sound going, even if it's not a perfect zzz sound. That sound can be hard, but any little vocalization. But here, we can pretend we're the buzzy bee. Okay. Zzz. Zzz. And so we're getting some of that deep breath going through that too. So that is one thing that is included in the calming kit. And then once kids kind of understand, you can model this while you're blowing, but once they understand, you can have these little removable pieces where you can say like, okay, we're going to blow 5 times. If they understand blowing but they don't understand deep breaths yet, you can use these. I forgot to mention with this set, there is a page with blank ones, and they're editable as a PDF. So there's directions in there. All you do is click on the blank card, and then you can insert whatever image you want. So if there's some character they love, or a picture of them blowing, you catch them blowing one day. Sometimes kids, I was just talking about this with Ashley Barlow, and she is a special education attorney, and we were just chatting yesterday. She interviewed me for her podcast, and we were talking about how kids, all young kids, are egocentric, and so they love seeing themselves. Mel said you take away or add the image when they complete a breath. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't demonstrate that. So I would take them all off, and then I'd put them on. Okay, you took a breath. Yep. Okay, blow. And they'll get, so this creates that predictable routine. So instead of 5 deep breaths, if they're not there yet, we're going to blow 5 times. Okay. And here, we're going to blow the dandelion 5 times. Okay, put it on. And they can start to help put it on once they get it. And so every time you present this, their muscle memory is going to come back and go, oh yeah, I know how to do this. I do this 5 times, and then I'm all done. She's not going to make me blow and take deep breaths for 20 minutes. We do 5 and then we're done. So it creates that visual, predictable routine, right? Okay, so also with these, they are editable, and I'll show you the one that I made a fun little edited one on, the deep breathing. So if you get to the point where you're past blowing and kids understand a little bit more about deep breathing, and so then there's the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this picture of him taking deep breaths. These are also editable so that you can put in your child's picture. You can put in Paw Patrol characters, like whatever you want. So I made this one. I found a picture. I just Googled Elmo breathing, and I found this. I took a screenshot. Let's see. I might have a picture of this coming up. But I took a screenshot, and so then a lot of times I know my students are super motivated by characters that they love. And so, okay, we're going to be like Elmo. We're going to breathe in and out. Oh yeah, there it is. I thought I included it in the slides here. So there's Elmo. So they're editable. That's what it looks like. And you just click on the square in the picture, and whatever you have saved, like on your desktop. I have directions in there for how to do it, but hopefully this will help people be able to individualize and use kids' things they're passionate about in these visual supports. All right, the other thing is a calming sequence. And so with this calming kit, if I had a kit for an individual student, not just like you could have a classroom one that has all the things in it, but if you just had one for an individual student, then the cover even is editable. You could have it with this rainbow. You could have it just where it says calming kit with no graphic, or there's one with a square that's editable that you can put their picture on. And so then inside you could individualize, like this is Johnny's calming kit, and you could put just the things in there he needs, so you're not rifling through a whole bunch of stuff to find what you need. So the calming sequence, so this one is a basic sequence of, okay, we're going to take deep breaths. This is once they understand that. We're going to squeeze our hands and shake it out. Squeeze, shake it out, and rub legs. These are things that you can do no matter where you are, and they're not super calling attention to the child. They're just like little things you can kind of do quietly. The other one has that breathing visual right on it, if that's what you've taught. And then there's also a page with just 3 squares, and you can put in there, editable again, whatever you want. You could do pictures of that child doing each of their 3 things. Like, it doesn't have to be, there's nothing magical about these 3 things. I just picked these because they're things that once kids can imitate, they can more easily imitate, right? Oh, Christine said for dandelion blowing, search tassel DIY flowers made with yarn and pipe cleaner. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do that. That'd be awesome if they could, like, if you blew it and it moved a little, right? Okay, so calming sequence. Now this, again, something you practice when you are calm, happy, life is good, and have fun with it, right? You could have a little stuffed animal there, helping them do it with you, kind of add that play in. So these are just all like little ideas to get your thoughts going. You'll know your students best and what might work for each student. Okay, then there's a larger I feel I need. Let me know in the comments, do you guys have, if you're either a parent or a teacher, do you have a calming corner at home or in the classroom? So this can be put on the wall. So there's an I feel and I need, and they're full paper size, like a piece of paper. And then the pieces come off. So this is nice because it takes the pointing away. It just is something that they can give you. And there's a whole bunch more choices than just these, but I kind of picked the ones that seem to be popular in my room. So back rub my back, hold a toy. Like if my child is dysregulated and let's say I help them with this. Okay, looks like you're sad. What do you need? And they understand how to give a picture or point to a picture. If they want to hold a Matchbox car, I'm good with that. Like if that is all it takes to get a child regulated again or redirect what they're thinking about. I know some people be like, well, then you're rewarding them by giving them a toy. That is not how I think. And if it was super manipulative like that, you guys know your students, you would know. But I kind of err on the side of let's redirect them, right? Let's redirect them. Let's get their thinking on something else. And if holding a Matchbox car or a little toy is all it takes, let's do it. Then they'll become regulated and we can move on to the next thing. Anyway, the other things that really work at early childhood are a hug and a drink of water. Or a little snack. I don't know how many times that has helped pop kids out of it, right? Or a little fidget to hold. So like something like this can be kept right in the calming kit. You can keep a little tiny vial of bubbles in there. Bubbles are magical and they're great for blowing, but they're also great for redirecting kids and kind of popping them out of being dysregulated. Jen said, do you hold it up or post it on the wall? So when I get back into the classroom, these I'm going to use Velcro and post it on a wall or shelf, like in the calming corner area, so that I can take them off if needed. Because it's not like, my students are movers. It's not like they're going to sit and directly go to this all the time. Like I might need to bring it over to them, and that's okay. Then there's also, when you open the calming kit, you'll see I have a very small one of those with a few options right inside. So they could point, or you could model. So at first you might be modeling. They maybe don't know, right? So you might be modeling, okay, I think you feel sad. It kind of looks like you're sad. And what do you need? Do you need a hug? And you can kind of follow their indications if that's what they want or not. And then there's also like a little bit of a bigger one that I ended up gluing back to back. Oh, I can't find it now. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I glued the 2 sides together and then laminated it so that if you guys are like me, you just can't, too much stuff is crazy and disorganized, and you lose your student when you're trying to find too much stuff. So I wanted it on one card where you could just grab it wherever they are. Okay, I feel, I need. And this is just like a quick go-to if you can't get back to like the bigger version on the wall, right? Mel says, do you do bubbles indoors? Yeah, we do. It works better if you have like those small little ones, and so that you're not having so many bubbles everywhere. And then, do a certain amount and then they can go away. A great technique for that is the all done bucket, which I will talk about at my webinar on Friday night. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Madison said, with kiddos that are extremely verbal, will this still help identifying feelings? Yeah. So especially when kids have some more verbal skills, when they become dysregulated, some of those skills go to the wayside, or you kind of get that arguing, negotiating, and it's just kind of like, at one point someone called it, when you get way up here on the curve of like dysregulation, it's kind of like mental debris. You're not thinking clearly. None of us are when we're stressed or dysregulated. So this is kind of like a backup plan for those kind of kids that usually are pretty verbal, but here it can take the verbal away if needed and allow them to point and hopefully think a little more clearly. All right, so there's the calming kit open with the I feel, I need. And then inside the calming kit, you can put whatever fidgets or sensory tools that kids need. So in the calming corner too, you could have the headphones or kind of the bottles, the bigger things that wouldn't fit. But any of those small little things that work for your students, or for a certain specific student, or if a Matchbox car pulls them out of stuff as like a transition object, put that in the calming kit. That'd be a great thing to have in there, ready to go. And then the calming corner, so those of you that don't have a calming corner, these are just some different examples. These are not mine. It could be a tent. It could be a corner of the classroom or home. It could be a big box, or a make-it-yourself little out of PVC pipe and fabric. So just a spot that kids know they can go and retreat and work on some of that regulation, having some books there and stuff. And you guys, let me know if you're going to be interested. In July, I'm thinking it's July 11th that week. I can't remember for sure the date. But I'm going to host a free 5-day challenge for putting together a calming corner at home or at school at low cost. So every day we will meet, and if you're not available at that time, you can watch the replay. But we will go over like boom, 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 5 steps to get this set up so that you can take action easily at home or at school and get something into place or revamp or add to the one you already have. So let me know if that's something you would like, and stay tuned. I'll get you more info as the weeks go on here. All right, so the calming kit that is editable. I will put a link in the comments as soon as I get off here. I just want to make sure you have the right link. And then I talked a little bit about the Calming Corner Challenge, and that's part of this little summer PD series. And I'm just so excited to have all these opportunities to connect with you guys and just brainstorm with each other and come up with ideas to make next school year really, really great, wherever our students come in at. Courtney says, what is something you found that works to help kids understand how to use the Calming Corner? So a piece of that is in my visual schedules course, I talk about, of course I don't have a picture right here with me on me, but I have like in my room right now, I have my classroom, and then Terry is the special ed teacher I co-teach with. And so our classrooms are next to each other, and they're connected by a bathroom and a sensory room. And so right now, the past many years, we've been using that sensory room, but sometimes it can be hard to get kids to go over there. I feel like I need a little something also within my classroom where I don't have to go keep an eye on kids or have someone stay with them. It can be just in the classroom. So this summer, during or before my summer session, I'm hoping to implement my technical calming corner. And so I'll be able to come up with some more ideas once I get that going inside of my classroom. But what we do is when kids check their schedule, their visual schedule, let's say there's a picture of sensory table. On the actual sensory table, I have like a half sheet piece of laminated paper with a picture of the sensory table and Velcro across the bottom. So when they go from their schedule to that, they match it. And so kids at first, need you to model it, help them get there and do that. But once they get that, they start understanding like, oh, this picture shows me where I'm supposed to go and I can match it. So it's really concrete. And that's how we get kids to become more independent with their visual schedule at such a young age. Like some 3-year-olds, the autistic 3-year-olds, whether they're speaking or non-speaking, can get this once they get the concept of matching. So modeling. So I will definitely have a picture of the calming corner, and I would say I'd probably use a real picture. And then they can match it to another picture at the calming corner. So not just like, oh, go over there. No, go match this over there, because that physically gets your body to that area. So I hope that makes sense, Courtney, because I know when kids are dysregulated, like we're not going to pick them up and move them, we can't do that. So how are we going to entice and get them over to the corner? And sometimes something simple like matching the picture will help. Anyway, so the Summer PD series starts this week, and I have a visual supports masterclass coming up. Fancy words I'm going to talk about my 7 favorite visual supports. Some of you have heard me talk about them before, but you are super welcome to come back and listen again. I'm going to talk about my 7 visual supports that I have implemented and seen time and time again work in my early childhood classroom. And so it's things like the all done bucket, the weight mat, adapted books. So you can go, I will put the link in the comments, or you could go to www.autismlittlelearners.com/webinar, WEBINAR. When you get in there, you can pick one of those 3 dates and time, and it should automatically convert to your time zone. So if you have questions about that, message me. But this one is completely free. It'll be about an hour long. And at the end, you would have the option, if you want, to join the Visual Schedules Made Easy course. But of course, not mandatory. I'll talk more about it at the end of the webinar. But during the webinar, I'll have some good information for you. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to give away everyone a set of pieces for adapted books for fall. So join me there if you can. And then, like I said, you'll see on here the Visual Schedules Made Easy course opens. And so if you have questions about that, hopefully I can answer them at the end of the webinar. Otherwise, always message me. And then in July, I got the date right, July 11th through the 15th, that will be the Calming Corner Challenge. Free, more info to come. Amanda said she's still teaching. What time is it? So Friday night, it's at 7 p.m. Central Time. Monday the 13th, it's at noon Central Time. And then Wednesday the 15th, it's at 7 p.m. Central Time. So there's 2 evening ones. Calming Corner Challenge, which is entirely free, July 11th. And I don't think I've announced this. Maybe I told one person. I'm doing a Kickstart Back to School Boot Camp. It's going to be reasonably priced, and it's going to be a week, and we're going to get all our ducks in a row for the new year, the new school year. So organization, I'm going to make a para training handbook, all sorts of stuff. So keep watching, and each time I go live, I will let you know what's next, because this is a whole lot. Or you could take a screenshot of this and kind of have it in your mind. All of this stuff is going to be stuff that you can watch a replay of. Except the masterclass, it's better to be there live because then you can get the free adapted book thing. But lots of fun stuff coming this summer. I'm so excited to spend this time with you. And please let me know if you have any questions along the way and if you have any questions about the calming kit. All right, I think that's it. I hope you enjoy your week if you're off, and if you still have some days of school left, I hope you get to the last day in one piece, right? It's been a year. Next year has to be better. It's going to be better. All right. I will put those links in right after I'm off here, and have a great night, you guys. Bye-bye.